Hello, I wanted to make this video and show you guys how to start uploading images to Photoshop. So from this point, you should have been able to log into Photoshop or the Creative Cloud. And now I'm going to show you a couple different ways to get your image into Photoshop and then just some basic Photoshop editing tools that you can start with, some kind of beginner tools. So first thing I'm going to do is come over to a folder where I have my images. So remember, I was telling you guys to start trying to collect your top 10 best 10 images into a folder or onto a drive or a flash drive. I have images right here in this folder. So I'm going to click on the folder. That'll open up and I'll see these are just all images that I was telling you about from when I scanned a bunch of negatives. So I'm actually just going to go to this Columbus. No, actually, I'll just grab this picture. So say I'm going to choose this picture. I'm going to do some enhancements to it. So here's how you would get it into Photoshop. One thing you could do is you could go to your computer. You could click here, find Photoshop, and open it this way, Adobe Photoshop CC 2019. Or you can just right-click on the picture. So if you right-click on the picture and then click Open With, it won't be there at first, but once you do it once, it'll be there afterwards. Then you're going to choose another app. You're going to find it. So you're going to say, scroll down to More Apps. Then there it is, Adobe Photoshop CC 2019. Hit OK. Now this image is going to open in Photoshop. Sometimes it'll take a minute, especially if this is the first time you've opened the Photoshop on your computer. Start to open up, and since we opened it with Photoshop, the image is already going to be there. If you open up Photoshop without an image, like just from the program, it'll be blank, and then you're going to make a file new, and you'll start a new file. I'll show you that way in just a second too. So here's some basic editing things you can do. I usually always open it up, make it large so I can see it better. This is your toolbar. If you've never been in Photoshop before, here's your layers. We're not going to worry about layers yet though. Layers are going to be to come. So for now, I'm just going to show you, here's a magnifying glass. I'm going to hit fit screen so I can see a little bit better. And this is just a reflection of me in a window. It's kind of blurry a little bit, kind of different, kind of unique. I want to try to pull myself out a little bit more so I'm not so shadowy. So first thing I'm going to do is under image, I'm going to image adjustments. And this is what I would suggest you guys to try is image adjustments, brightness and contrast, hue, saturation, color balance, photo filter. Any of these really you can try. But right now I'm just going to go to adjustments, brightness and contrast. I'm going to have a box that pops up over here. First thing I might do is try to raise the brightness, see what happens, see if I can see the image better like I want to. Maybe I just like it like this. And then I can change the contrast, so I can make the darks darker or the lights lighter. That's an option. You could even do it again. I could say, okay, image adjustments, brightness and contrast. Put the brightness up again, through the contrast up. So now I changed the image. I can see myself a little bit better, something different. There really isn't a particular style I want you guys to go for here, but I just want you to experiment around with some of the pictures that you've tried. Now, once I hit OK, it's changed. If I want to save this version, I can go to File, Save As, and right now I would title it, say Me Too, or whatever. Make sure it's a JPEG. It might say PSD. That means it's a Photoshop file. So if it's a Photoshop file, that means it's going to be your working file, which is this in the program. But once you're finished editing a photo and you want to export it out, you have to export it as a JPEG, which is right here, JPEG, 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 JPEG. So click that. I'm going to make sure I know where I save it. This is very important. So I'm actually going to save it right back in the folder where I started. So I know it's there under Desktop Film Scans 2020. Me Too, JPEG. Okay, I'm good to go. Save. So now I just saved that version. It's going to be 1.3 megabytes. Okay, save. 1.3 is kind of small. I would suggest making it a little bit bigger, but for now, that's okay. All we're trying to do is experiment with some of the basic editing tools. If I ever want to go back, all I do is I hold Control with my pinky and then click Z, and they'll continue to take you back. It back steps. On Mac computers, it's actually Command Z back. On PCs, it's Control Z, Z, Z back. You could do image adjustments. Maybe I want to go back to how I had it. I could go to Window, History, go back to that history point. Oh, and bring it back to how I had it. I could go and change the color. I could say Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, change the color, different version, maybe more colorful, less colorful. Maybe it's a little bit darker. Hit OK. Maybe I like that version, so I'll say File, Save As, 2.2 JPEG. Same spot, hit Save. 1.7, OK. So I just showed you a couple different tools you can try, but feel free to try any of these things in their image adjustments. Play around with those, try to get the feel if you're ready for this step, if you've already downloaded the programs and you found your 10 pictures. But the first thing to do is to find the 10 best photos, collect them in one spot, and then go from there. Another way that you could open Photoshop, if I just close this, I'm just going to close out of it. Might take a second. Another thing I could do is I could go to the Photoshop program, click this, click Open Photoshop from this way. And this is on a desktop. It's going to be different for your laptop or for your Chromebook. For your Chromebook, you're going to go to your icon. It'll open this way, but it'll be blank because we didn't open it with a picture. So now, once I get in here, I'm going to show you what you have to do if you open it this way. So left me here, but also too, this is the cool thing about the Creative Cloud is now I can see the images that I were previously working on. They're still there. I can see a little thumbnail of the image that I might have worked on before. I worked on this grass picture a couple of days ago. So to start a new one here, I'm just going to go to Create New, or I could open something to open the file if I've already been working on one. Or if you go to Create New, if you just want to start with the blank background, which we're not really there yet, but then you would hit, we will do this, but we're not really there yet. But for now, I'd probably just click Open and find the image. But here's how you would create a new document, a specific size and resolution, and things like that. So if I said 24 by 36, 300 resolution, hit Create. And then now I have a blank background to start. We're not there yet, like I said, because we are going to be doing layers. So if we go to Window, and I can view my layers. So now I have a blank background layer to start with. That's something to start thinking about because we are going to go there pretty soon. Probably in the next couple projects, we'll be using our layers in Photoshop. For now, I'd like you guys just to try that. Maybe you try 2 or 3 different versions of each picture, see what kind of experimentation you can do, and just have fun and play around with it. Okay, I will talk to you guys later.